Hey everyone. Tonight I want to talk a little bit about freedom and what freedom implies. There's a lot of people in the truth core and people in the world in general that think that freedom is just going to magically take place. It's just going to magically manifest itself in reality and physical reality without us actually changing our ways, transforming our inner life, transforming ourselves from within. This can never happen. Freedom will never happen externally unless we transform internally, unless we awaken internally, unless we understand who we are internally, unless we free ourselves and free our minds, unless we free ourselves psychologically, spiritually, and emotionally, unless we free ourselves from our conditioning, unless we look at our conditioning and witness our conditioning, witness our programming, witness our behavior, witness how we're acting, our thinking, witnessing our attachments. We have to be aware of our attachments, free ourselves from our attachments to our family, our friends, our jobs, our titles, our identities, our material possessions, our pleasures, all the things that we derive pleasure from, the attention we get from others, the attention we seek from others. We have to detach ourselves from all the ideas that we have about reality. We have to realize that they're all illusions. We have to understand. We have to understand so much more than that. I'm not going to get into it all right now, but you get the idea. We have to free ourselves from all of this. It takes work. It takes a constant awareness of your internal world. It takes a constant awareness of what's happening inside of you. And unless you're willing to do that, you will never see external freedom. Unless you're willing to do that, you will never see external freedom. External freedom doesn't magically happen. It doesn't magically materialize because you voted for a master, because you voted for a president, because you voted for a politician, because you voted for anybody. It doesn't magically materialize because you think it will, because you think you are free. No. Freedom implies action. It implies you're taking constant action to heal yourself and the planet and all of life, to establish balance within and then without, outside of you. And obviously, there is no such thing as external and internal. It's all one. External freedom can never happen unless internal freedom is established first. Never. Also, as long as you attach yourself to an idea of freedom mentally, psychologically, as long as you attach yourself to an image that you hold about freedom, as long as you think that freedom is going to happen at some future date, some future time, you're dead wrong. It's a lethal fallacy. It'll never happen. Freedom happens right now. It is established right now in every single moment. I am free. And if you are not free, you have to face the fact that you are a slave. You have to face the fact that you've been a slave to certain dynamics, your thoughts, your governors, your politicians, your inner world. Most importantly, you are a slave to yourself. You are a slave to your desires. You are a slave to your pleasures. You are a slave to your suffering. You are a slave to your kids, your partners, your wives, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, your schools, your teachers. You are a slave to your religions, your belief systems. You are a slave to your job, to your pets, those you think you take care of, those you support, and those you are supported by. You are a slave to your parents, to your priests, to your presidents, to the politicians, to the police officers. You are a slave to all of this unless you understand that, unless you face that fact. You have to face that fact. Then the shift occurs. Through facing the fact of what is, then the shift occurs in consciousness. Then the solution appears. And now you're ready. Free yourself. You free yourself by facing the fact, not by running from it, not by running from the fact, not by escaping from the truth. You go through the truth of what is. You face the truth, and out blossoms the answer to your problem. Within the problem lies the solution. It's not outside the problem. It's not in that drink you're about to drink. It's not in that food you're about to eat. It's not in that sex you're about to have. It's not in that partner you're about to try to derive attention from. It's not the person you're about to try to derive attention from. It's not in that social media post. It's not in that picture you took of yourself. It's not where freedom is. Freedom is through your pain. It is through your trauma. It is through your shadow. It's through your demons. It is through hell. That's where you find freedom. So those of you who think external freedom can possibly happen without facing these facts, you're dead wrong. It can never happen unless you free yourself internally, psychologically, spiritually, emotionally, physiologically. Once you do that, by facing the fact of what is, not by running from what is, but facing the fact of what is, then you may see external freedom. External freedom is a direct result of being internally free. How many of you are courageous enough to face yourselves? How many of you are willing to go all the way And if you are, then do it. If you're already doing it, don't stop. Keep going. It hurts. There's tears. There's vulnerability. There's pure, raw emotions. Feel them. Feel them all the way through. Don't let them just be emotions. Feel. Freedom is in your feeling. Freedom is within yourself. It is a constant state of being. It is not something to be achieved. It's not something to attach your mind to. It's not something to attach your ego to. It's not a word. It's not a symbol. It's not an object. It's not something that is separate from you. It is not in the future. It is now. And it exists inside of you. Face yourself and see it. Reclaim it and be in it and allow it to kill you. And allow yourself to be rebirthed into your highest self, which is freedom. And then constantly go through that process. And never stop. Freedom within, freedom without.